RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. I swear to God, one day I will change that opening to nothing because there is no RDT Daily anymore. Okay, whatever. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. This is our Friday night gathering. I look a little rough, I know. I'm tired. My ass hurts. I got corns. No, I'm only kidding. My feet. Got bunions. My feet hurt. My vagina itches. No, I'm only kidding. What was it? Was that old Saturday Night Live bit? Gilda Radner. She's like, I got a crook in my neck. My feet hurt. My neck. I got it. Anyway, whatever. That's how I start the show. Complaining. Okay, listen. Thank you guys. We meet here every Friday evening, 8:30 p.m. And my ass does hurt. I'm sorry. It does. I've been sitting in this chair all day. I should, get it. I just bought a new chair. But, I guess if you sit on your ass all day. And then I read something alarming. Oh, no, I didn't read it. It was somebody was telling me that, oh, yeah, their mother's friend dropped dead one day. And I said, what do you think happened to him? And he said, well, he just had this lifestyle where he sat all day. And then I thought, oh, shit, am I going to drop dead? Okay, yes, I need to get out more. I need a donut. You're right. You know what it is? It's like, it's just sore, my ass. It's not like I have hemorrhoids or anything. I mean, we're getting real now. It's just like my muscles. I really got to get up more. And I would have stood the desk up, but it was too close to air, and I had a lot of technical difficulties. So, yes, and I did see that. Yeah, because Ellie Leonard is coming on the show in a little bit. And right before I started the show, I saw it come on my phone that Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning in January. I doubt that's the last we'll see of her. I don't know. Let's see what happened. Before I get into it, I just want to thank Charlie from APS Radio News for everything you do to keep the show going and growing. Please remember, it is Thanksgiving coming up. So remember APS Radio for your Thanksgiving background music. Oldies, classic rock and oldies all day. And then you have the other channel, which is the classical music station. So that's very nice. And they, Charlie's a great guy, so you'll be supporting progressive radio and the progressive work that we do to make the world a better place. So thank you. Okay, let's see. Marjorie Taylor Greene has announced she's retiring from Congress effective January in 2026. Holy shit. Good. Oh God, but we're gonna get somebody. She's pretty bad, but I guess it doesn't matter because she sucks, right? So we will get somebody who's even more disgusting. I mean, we endured the Jewish space laser, the everything else, the Trump was right about everything. Trump won the insurrection, right? So I don't want to ask that question, how bad could it get? Because when you ask things like that, the universe responds with, oh, you want to see how bad it can get? I see your Marjorie Trader Greene, or your perjury Trader Greene. Or what did he call it? No, he called her Marjorie Trader Brown. Oh, poor Trump. The dementia is really showing. But, so I see your perjury Trader Greene, and I raise you, God help us, Nick Fuentes or something like that. So you don't want to tempt the universe. Like, how much more can I take? Don't ever say things like that, because then the universe is like, all right, you want to see? So let's see. Greene made the resignation announcement after her official social media account. Why can't I talk? Well, Let's see what she says. We can play it. What a shame. because I had a little bit of hope for her for a minute since she was seeing the light. Maybe she's quitting because, well, she's a quitter. Well, this is Republicans, when it gets hard, they leave you to dry, like they will leave you behind every time. Cut and run. Because she's not a very smart person, as we know. She's somebody that got into things and then she would go to the next thing. So before she was a QAnon conspiracy theorist, she was a CrossFit not aficionado. She was a serial adulterer, a CrossFit fanatic, I guess is the right word. Let's see. Marjorie. I'm sure she's trending. I should probably go on to do a podcast. This is what they do. It doesn't matter how repugnant they are. And that's actually how she started in politics. She started posting things on her Facebook account, these conspiracy theory bullshit. The Jewish space lasers stuff came from her unhinged Facebook ramblings. Let's see. Isn't that funny? Let's see. Hold on a second. So you could see what I'm looking at. Where is my Safari? Okay. What do you guys think? She's, I guess, she does. It won't stop her from running for other office. She wants to run for president. Believe it or not. That's how you know Republicans are not normal. That they're insane. You see, because that's the hallmark of being insane, is that you don't know your limitations. And that's perjury, trade, agreeing. She doesn't know her, that she's not fit to run for office. She has no self-awareness. She's like, oh, yeah, I could do better. Is this her official account? And why is her splash screen, her eyes, it's a little creepy, and they are dead eyes like the rest of the Republican Party. They all have dead eyes. Let's see, MTG, I think that's her. Rep MTG. There we go. Yeah, tonight and every day is the 1776. What? I don't know. I don't see it. If somebody can have it put it in the chat. Maybe I can link to it. It doesn't matter, right? Whatever. Her decision to resign arrives after significant public pressure and criticism for her recent remarks and political conduct. Okay, vague much? This is what drives me nuts about media today. Her decision to resign arrives against significant public pressure and criticism for her recent remarks and political conduct. What were her recent remarks and political conduct? Do you have any feelings on that? Can you actually specify what that was or is? Because, nobody wants to draw a line, I suppose. Because if they say something, it might actually sound bias. You might sound like, yeah, you're a political bias. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Let's see. I don't see it. Yeah, okay. Where the heck is it? Oh, here we go. Nope. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's Caitlin Collins is announcing for perjury, trade, or agreeing. But she's linked. See, I muted her account. That's probably why I couldn't find it. Shit. It's a long-ass statement. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always despised it. I've always been despised in Washington D.C. and never fit in. Well, that's because you are somebody that brought screaming matches to the halls of Congress. You're the one who would, we have video of her whispering into the mail slot of AOC before she was a congresswoman. I mean, I'm talking about Perjury Trader Green going around with her fellow QAnon conspiracy theorists in Congress, in the halls of Congress, whispering into AOC's mail slot like a kook. And we also remember how you chased down one of the survivors of one of our uniquely American school massacres, gun massacres. Hold on. This is Tara Devlin. All right. I mean, shit. We've had a lot. Had to endure a lot from these Republicans, haven't we? You know, being dragged around their manias. That's what I'm so sick of, really. And that's why I named tonight's show. Well, what did I name it? It's a lot of naming. I named it, the Trump malignancy. I can't talk. The Trump malignancy continues. Have you no decency, America? You know, because at a certain point, it becomes about us. Not about him. Not about the baboon. Ugh. And look at the picture that I put. Hold on. I wish I had better control of everything on our lovely, lovely show. Let's see. Nope, that's Brian Kilmeade. Here we go. See, this is the graphic I made for tonight's show with Ellie. But look at that. You know, him and Mohammed bin Bonesaw. Look at the laughing. I've never seen that baboon laugh before, except when hanging out with a brutal dictator that dismembered a member of the press. And, we know that he did that because our intelligence services said he did. But that doesn't matter to our so-called president. He has no decency. And I'm sick of it, really. So when do we have enough? You know, when do we draw the line in the sand? The founders gave us some remedies. We've just refused to employ them. The people that we put in power, I should say, because it really is, you know, what's his name? Merrick the Meek. Let this baboon go. You know, he's talking about treason, that senators, and we'll get to that too, about how the senators who they put out a video saying that it's encouraging the troops to remember that they have an obligation not to follow illegal orders, and all the baboons enablers in the Republican Party, and the filthy fascist baboon himself, are saying that the senators committed treason, that they're seditious, deliberately leaving out the word, the qualifying word, illegal orders. But we'll get to that, well, I guess, you know, in a minute, after we finish with Perjury Trader Green. No matter, let's see what she says. Americans are used by the political industrial complex that she capitalizes. That's not a thing. Perjury. It doesn't exist. It's in your mind. The political industrial complex. I understand. You know, why don't you say money in politics is the root of this evil? That's what I get it. But you see, with somebody, a fanatic like her, who's a little bit kooky, who doesn't have full, command of her faculties, it seems she's easily swayed by whoever, I suppose, talked to her last. And it's like, you know, this is the political education of Perjury Trader Green. Well, welcome to the party, Perjury, because we've been screaming about it for years. Except, she says that, oh, okay, things are wrong. Like, for example, health care. Now she's seen the light, even though she voted for the bill that destroyed health care, that destroyed the ACA, and would continue to do so when given a chance. And she's the one kicking her daughters off of their health insurance. But it's not Obamacare that destroyed the American healthcare system, our sick care system, I should say. It's the Republicans who undermine their own health system. That's, Obamacare is the Republican plan, as we know, and they took away every mechanism to make it affordable. So what do you expect? Perjury. So, okay, let's see. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. Hello? Hello, perjury. She still can't say the name of the Democratic Party. I've yet to hear her say it. So, I would be a little bit more convinced if they could at least start there. If she could at least own her own failings. Clean up your side of the street. Then I might consider you sincere in your political awakening, right? No, she's just pointing fingers, but that's what Republicans do. Forget this taking a fearless, searching and fearless moral inventory. She's pointing fingers at everybody else but herself. Let's see. The results are always the same, no matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat. Nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. Hello. You know what I mean? This is driving me insane. Yeah, because kiss up, kick down, trickle down Reaganomics, honey. How about it? The debt goes higher. Shut the fuck up with this debt. Like they give a shit about the debt. Wasn't she in Congress when the baboon added $8 trillion to the debt that they supposedly care so much about? How about the America First of leaving the United States a land of mass graves? Lying to the American people. How about sending our ventilator machines to Putin while we needed them at home, and telling the governors of all the states during the pandemic, compete for the precious PPE that you need. So that's why we had he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So that's why we had our frontline workers and nurses and doctors wearing garbage bags for protective gear and cleaning their N95 masks when that is actually not recommended to make it effective. So let's see. Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweetheart. Yeah, honey, money and politics. Why don't you join the solution instead of just flinging poo? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what Republicans do. They have a little bit of truth in what they're saying, so it seems reasonable. It rings somewhat true. And then people are like, yeah. And then they point the finger in another direction. And they distract in a way that makes it worse. They're not offering actual solutions here. American jobs continue to be replaced by whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Listen, bitch, it's the CEO class. It's your billionaire masters who buy the politicians, who corrupt government. If we got money out of politics, that would start. You would see things change. You would start to see it, at least. Hold on a second. This is Tara Devlin. I can't believe it. It's another musical interlude. small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. And for those who just joined us, we're reading Perjury Trader Green's resignation letter. She's going to leave Congress in January. And whatevs. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, foreign interests. And, well, I mean, okay. I get it. Let's have universal health care, honey. Let's get money out of politics. Am I wrong? She's got nothing. Nothing but gripes. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream, which breaks my heart. Yeah, that's because of Reaganomics, my friend. That's because since Reagan urinated on us and told us it was trickling, the United States went from the most to the least upwardly mobile, with the widest income gap, from the slightest income gap to the widest income gap. Hold on, I'm trying to find this, this clip of Perjury. What am I in? Which browser am I in here? Let's see. Where MTG. Hold on, here comes Ellie. Ellie, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, good, okay. Because I had JoJo from Jers on the other day, and she couldn't hear me. We had technical problemos, and it sucked. Hold on a second. Let me... Ellie is in the green room. I'm just trying to look for my... Where the hell is my program here? Okay, looking for the program. Now I'm going to put Ellie in to right here. Here we go. Ellie is in. Boom. There she is.
Hi.
Ellie Leonard, everyone. Wait, let me change the screen. Hold on a second. Oh, there you are. Okay, good. Welcome.
There I am.
Welcome,
Thanks
welcome, everyone. The great Ellie Leonard, red pencil script. If you're not a Substack, I can't talk. Substack subscriber. Yeah, it is. And my ass hurts. I think that'll be the theme of.
Ask.
Yeah.
Do I want to know?
Not for anything raunchy, but no, or rude. I just been sitting in this chair all damn day. Okay. And somebody in the chat said, yes, I need one of those, like, I should get one of those tube things. No, it's just my whole ass is.
Oh, like the hemorrhoid donut? You need the hemorrhoid donut.
It's not hemorrhoids. It's just.
No, it's not even for that. They if you have to sit on something hard all day, it's like a hemorrhoid donut. Right. I had one because my big-headed third child broke my tailbone entering this world. And it didn't help me because I had a broken tailbone, so I was just sitting on the donut on a broken tailbone. So it just there was just.
So it didn't work. Oh, okay.
Didn't work.
Yeah, I wonder because
Now you know more about me, though.
No, I know. I mean, I know what happened. I've never had a baby myself, but my sister had a lot of trouble.
Overrated, right?
Yeah, I don't know how
it hurts. It hurts. I don't know if people have mentioned that it hurts. So.
Like how
0 stars.
I always think about when, women back in the day. I mean, that's why women died of childbirth. That was the number one cause of death. And you know what's so sad? There was, not too long ago, I remember reading something about they discovered the fossilized bones of a pre-human, and it was someone who clearly died in childbirth, that they had a breached birth, and they could tell. Isn't that sad? You think about that. And
it's sad that those numbers are inching back up now.
Right. It's so true.
Be, right? Just like in America, they're inching back up. We have a really horrible maternal morbidity rates for a first world country, and especially for different groups of color. And it's silly that that's the way it is. Yeah, it is.
Right. And that's what I was saying. How much, really it becomes about us after a while. Right. And how much do we hate ourselves to allow this to continue? And we do it because of the division, because they divide us, because of the propaganda. So I'm
there's just very our rules in the U.S. around childbirth in general and like parenting and early parenting and are are so horrible compared to most
Yes.
other. I mean, you look at like these graphs of like how much time off they give new parents and
I
like
know.
dads and mothers and like countries that give mothers a year off paid leave
Yep.
to be with their children so that they don't have to like run off 12 weeks in with,
Yep.
if they get paid. Like in America, we're required, if it's a business, to have 12 weeks off, but they're not required to pay us for those 12 weeks off.
Right.
So we just have to
Right.
figure out how to, like, we had to budget. We had no money. I
Wow.
mean, like, I think my grandpa gave us $1,000 and we had to like spread it over 3 months and
Like,
like
what
live
is
off of
that? I
it.
mean, that could go
Right.
in a week, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. I mean, not that your grandfather did that. I'm saying it's just
No,
ridiculous
it's just like, yeah.
because all over the world in other countries. I mean, for that's what's so
Yeah.
sickening, you know, because we really talk a good game about family and,
Hmm.
hey, I don't need to hear it. Let's see it, because if
Right.
you're
Well,
really mhm.
I was talking to like somebody in Canada, and they're like, yeah, you got privatized healthcare, and I was like, yeah, but we just still got out of like the ER with our kid and paid $1,000, and they're like, wait, you still have to pay when you go to the hospital after you pay? And I was like,
Isn't that
yes, we
insane?
pay hundreds of dollars every month, and then when we go, we pay hundreds of dollars. Like, I don't
Yep.
really know where that money's going, actually. Like, I don't know, because we're still paying for everything. I don't get
Wow.
it.
Wow. Well, that's because,
Fun, huh?
US pay see the whole thing about money and with healthcare, this was a whole right-wing thing too. Even with Medicare and Medicaid, you still have to pay because the Republicans always had this thing about skin in the game. It drives me fucking crazy. You have to have skin in the game. That's what they said with Medicare.
Hmm.
That was a Republican concession to these right wingers, like to get them to sign on
Right.
at the time. Because they felt like if everybody could go and get free health care, that would mean you would just keep going and getting free health care. But if you had skin in the game, you
You
would,
wouldn't go to the hospital as much. You wouldn't call
yeah,
911 when you're
uh
actually
huh,
bleeding on the
uh
floor,
huh.
which is what happens. Guess what?
Yes,
People don't,
exactly.
like, we have had times in our past financially. Here, I need to plug my computer in
No,
while I'm
you're
talking
fine.
to you. Um, where it was a question if we would call 911 if there was an emergency because the
Yep,
ambulance ride is $1,500. So
that's
it's
right.
like,
Yeah, you might as well take an
I,
Uber.
right, like, or just, can we afford the Uber? Like, it's like, hey,
Right.
I realize that I'm bleeding out of my carotid, but I could probably drive,
Oh,
you know? Fine.
well, that's why the United States, we pay more for health care and
Mhm.
the whole world, and we get less, and we leave millions out, and it's just, and we also spend more
Yeah.
of our GDP on health care too. That's why it's such an
Right.
abomination.
Right.
And
Right.
and the Republicans who continuously argue for now they're, I mean, they're so devious with what's going on with Obamacare. They're destroying it,
Hmm.
and that is the Republican health care plan. But they're saying, "Oh, Obamacare ruined health care." That's how. I mean, there's no memory in this country.
Right.
You
Right.
know, no,
Right.
Obamacare is just regulation on the insurance racket. So it didn't
Yeah, so you
ruin
couldn't,
health
right.
care. What
It
happened
actually
was,
it gave our healthcare to our family. Back when it started, we couldn't
yes,
afford insurance. So it was like, as parents, we had no health insurance. And like, it allowed for us to qualify for like
right, to
low
finally,
income health
yeah,
insurance, right?
just
Which
get
we
some
never
health
did.
care. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they took away every mechanism to make it affordable.
Hmm.
And I don't understand why, and I talk about this on the show a lot because this is one of my things. I hope to see universal health care before I
Hmm.
step off this mortal coil, because that's what we need. Like, it's part of
It,
unifying the country, I think,
right.
too. You know?
Have we looked at the statistics of a place like Canada and what their life expectancy is versus the
Let's see.
US, where I don't know if
I'm
it's better.
looking
I
it
don't know.
up.
I would just
No,
assume that
it's
places where
worse
people
here.
can,
Yeah,
yeah, I
but
would assume
yes.
that places where people can go to the doctor when they need to are probably living longer than we are, but
Yeah.
I don't know those numbers.
Yes.
So anyway, just a thought.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking it up. No, because as you're speaking about this, a friend of mine he married an American, He came from Ireland, and he said that, and we were talking about this one day about, for-profit healthcare in this country. He goes, yeah, when I was in Ireland, I just went to the doctor, but this is the first time when I had to think, is this worth it? Should I go? Am I going to be like, is it worth the money?
We
He goes,
always think about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually an emergency. Right.
Exactly. And he said it was the first time he ever had to think about money in regard to his health. And he was like, shit, is this worth, whatever it's going to be, the copay, the co-insurance, the deductible? And he's, he was saying he had some like ear thing when he was in Ireland, and he just went to the doctor. He didn't even think twice. He's like, oh, I have something wrong with my ear. I'm going to go. It's not, it's not even, there's no stress about it. And
I took my kids to the dentist this last week, and one of them had to get he didn't have a cavity, but he has a little divot in his tooth. So they filled it up, and it was like 5 minutes, right? He laid there, they put a little gas thing on his nose, they filled it up, and out of pocket we had to pay $150 to walk away from that dentist visit. And they took our insurance, so I don't know how much, you know what I mean? It's like
right.
Yeah.
What would it be without? It doesn't seem like,
for a little
a little filling. So let's see. In Canada,
5 minutes.
Canada has a life expectancy of 82.2 years, and the United States is 79.5 years.
Okay.
Mexico 75 years, and so this is all around North America. Costa Rica 80 years. Cuba, 78 to 79 years. Jamaica, 75.
What if it goes down in places that are really prone to hurricanes?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? You have more natural disasters. I know ours went down during COVID. That brought it way down.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, our infant mortality, the, what do you call that? Maternal mortality rate is horrible. And it's only getting worse. And ever since they destroyed Roe, of course, it's getting worse too. The abortion rate is up in the country, and
I was telling somebody the other day, back in the day when I was telling someone earlier today, when I did this math. I wrote it all out, and I was very proud of it, and I don't know where I put it, but I got all the abortion rates off the CDC for every year. And it was between presidential administrations. It went down faster during Democratic administrations, fewer abortions.
Yep.
And then you had the biggest decline during the Obama administration.
Yep.
Because they gave people free birth control and they weren't getting pregnant in the first place. And they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that as you know what I mean? As a midline. We can actually all to get abortions if they don't get pregnant. If we give a better world for these women to learn about healthcare and learn about their bodies and learn about saying no and protecting themselves and self-defense and and them in the position where they have to decide that in the first place, but no one wants to talk about that.
That's right.
They're just,
and
abstinence.
Yep. And abstinence. Well, that's what's so annoying about Republicans is that, and Democrats, frankly, because during Obama, he tried to reach across the aisle so much, it was ridiculous. After a while, that's when he started doing the executive orders, because he realized, but this was well into the second term, and then they were like, oh, he thinks he's a king, but he was just doing the, I know, right?
That's ironic.
For real. Well, this is who they are. But, the Republicans, he was always trying to give them their policies back at them thinking that they would suddenly turn reasonable. And that was one of the things that he did with the abstinence only. In the there was something in the healthcare bill where, in certain states, they would also teach, instead of just talking about contraception and sex ed and family planning, they would also have to mention, abstinence only, and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? You have a poorly run, all of your poorly run red states they're high in teen pregnancy and STDs. So just shut your mouths. And don't you care about your children too? You know what I mean? Like they're clearly they need education.
I mean, I don't know. Should we ask Megyn Kelly if she cares? I don't think she cares.
That's true. That's true. And that's what I'm saying. What the hell? And you were transcribing whose email yesterday? The
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I started out with Bannon's, so it's one of these things where I go into naive. Well, I go into these things naively, and I could bang that out tonight and like put it on Substack. And I'm still banging it out.
You dropped out there for a second. Your audio.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
So I naively went into it thinking I could just like, I'm just gonna go pull his emails and go bang one out and like put it on Substack and off we'll go. And it's been over like a week and I'm still banging. And now I'm Bannon. Yeah, I'm like categorizing now because now there's his emails, but then there's like Larry Summers' emails, and there's Kathy. Was it Remner? Oh gosh, she was the counsel for Obama. She was the one who counseled for Obama, and she's in there like schmoozing and flirting and
scum.
Which is I'm just like too close. I'm just scared that I'm going to keep reading this stuff and see something that I really really don't want to see. Because so far it's just the people that I just really don't like, and it doesn't surprise me. But somebody's gonna pop in there, and I'm gonna be like, "Damn it!" Like, okay,
like you at 2, right?
Yeah, so I'm going through and I'm transcribing all the Bannon emails because it's really spread out. They wanted this thing to be complicated again.
Yes.
They could have made it into a PDF that we could just flip through, right? But no, they had to make every single one of these 23,000 pages an individual JPEG picture that we have to open, look at, close, open, look at, close.
Wow.
Right. I mean, it's totally on purpose.
So you can't index it. So wow.
You can't, and if you click out of it, you're like, oh crap, where was I? And you have to scroll back through, and then it has to like populate, which takes like 3 seconds, and then you have to populate it again. And it's like it's meant to be really horrible. Yeah. So I'm going through it.
They're absolutely evil.
And all the emails, of course, are spread out in different little places all over these 22,000 files. They're not. His emails are not all together. There's like, here's 3 of them, and then 1,000 pages later, there's a couple, and then so I'm basically doing what I've done in the past. Is I'm just taking them and I'm just putting them in a Word document in order by date of what he sent them. And so you can kind of see this like this what's the word I'm thinking? Like the change in their relationship from like kind of professional, hey, what's up? I'm so and so, blah blah blah, to like full on like romance. I have never, and I've said this to other people, but like I've never seen Epstein let his guard down in emails. Like he's usually the guy who, when everybody else is going, oh hey you want to get together and he's like yeah, we'll see. But Bannon becomes his friend, and all of a sudden he's the bitch. Like he's just like he's like, hey you it's like he's like dear diary,
shit.
Bannon emailed me today. Like it's very weird. And like just making plans and like, what do you want to do today? And it's so funny that in after the Bannon was like, I was really trying to get him to like shape up and like change and make this document. And it's like, shape up. Were not. Like, you were broing. Like it's just so interesting. And it's the same thing. He's got 15 hours of interviews that he did with Epstein. Wow. And Epstein was very excited because he was like, oh, I'm getting my documentary. It's all about me. And so those 15 hours.
And he was a pedophile. He was already a pedophile at this point, like a known convicted pedophile. Yeah. Wow.
And you're reading through these emails of important people like the Rothschild and like Larry and all these people. Like you're reading them and they're joking about him about his mutation. Like, oh, watch out for the little girls and ha 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 ha. Like,
wow, you scumbag.
Yeah, and he goes. And he's joking. He's like, yeah, have you heard my reputation? Hide the women. Like, they're just like, they thought it was funny. Like, this guy was a level 3 offender, like a decade by then. And they're all joking.
Yeah. And they think it's funny. They think it's, and these people have daughters too.
Right. Right. And they all have children. They all, yeah. Like, he was doing what he was doing until the day he died, till the day he was caught. And more brazenly, although he does get paranoid because he knows that they're surveilling him. Like, in the last year.
He's a criminal, yeah.
He's right. And he knew that he knew the FBI was after him. And, because Bannon keeps trying to get him to come to, like, film premieres and this and that. And he goes, I can't do that. I can't go anywhere. And he became a little bit of a hermit in the last while because he knew that he was being watched all the time.
Right.
He probably was. But, like, he was still managing everything. He was still controlling people's, like, financial futures. Yeah. Other countries. Like, it's just such a weird saga that is like, I don't know if I'm ever going to wrap my head around the entire story because it just goes in so many different directions.
Wow.
That I don't understand.
Wow. Well, it's just that they, and it's just an example of how they don't consider other people worthy of, any kind of respect or consideration. And they're just inherently evil. That's what that is. They don't pull a hair for another human being. Ha ha ha. All you got to do is look at that birthday book and see that, they all knew, and it was a big joke that he was raping children.
Right. And I have been told by a very credible source that birthday book came out every year, that there are other birthday books, and that's just the one that they have, but that there are many. I don't know. I'm assuming if that's true that they are in the Epstein estate, which is, where this last little pile. I am I'm curious about the Epstein files, but I'm honestly more curious about his estate. It's all the private stuff. That's all his personal effects. And I don't think they were careful about grabbing things from that. I think they have a lot more than they should, and that's under lock and key with his lawyer and his accountant, who, again, nobody's subpoenaing them. Nobody's asking. No one's required.
Hold on a second, Ellie. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with Ellie Leonard. You know the drill with the music and all. So.
Gotta get my car. Anyway, so it's just like there's, and then there's the idea that, like, you have all these, like, independent journalism. We don't have teams of people going through these documents. If we want to go through them, we're going through them on our own, and so it's like a frantic race because we want all those Epstein files out, but I'm like, I'm not done with the pile that I have. I need to get through this really fast.
Much.
Now we have a 30-day limit or whatever. If they're going to give them to us, we have 30 days, and they're going to drop the rest. And so it's like I'm frantically trying to get through everything that we have already
before the more of them are dropped.
Right, because I'm not going to do an AI scan of them. I know a lot of people do that, but, like, I'm finding things in there that people are missing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm finding really, really interesting nuggets that I think are getting summarized, and so people aren't seeing them. And so I'm not using AI. I'm doing it old school, and I'm going through one at a time, and that's why I'm, like, pasting, individual emails online that I find really interesting or funny or, like, weird. Like, what was it, the Sultan bin Salam? One of the sultans was, like, emailing Epstein about cholesterol, and he's like, have you heard about this new drug for cholesterol? And they're like, yeah, wow, that's totally cool. And you're like, is this like a big pharma thing, or are you guys just, like, growing out on your your meds? I don't really know, but it's just the weirdest thing. So you can laugh where you can laugh because it's just so heinous, but I do, in a weird nitty gritty nerdy way, I really enjoy digging through all of this stuff because it is, like I said, it's a big puzzle.
And getting to, there's more than 40 computers that they recovered from. I can't even imagine. And I'm just looking at what they got from him in his estate or in his evidence.
Which is
40 computers, 26 storage drives, 70 CDs, multiple recording devices containing hundreds of gigabytes of data. 60 pieces of physical evidence, including photographs, handwritten notes, travel logs, employee lists, and documents simply described as documents. Several disturbing items, such as the first edition of Lolita. I guess because he did. Where did I see this? Somebody was saying
he thought that he was so, like, kitschy about his
Well,
his nudie art. And all,
his disgusting, creepy nude art. But he thought he was a persecuted minority. That's who was saying this. They saw something about this, where he really believed, like he was, that he had, like he was like a gay person, and that one day he would be, vindicated, that it would be okay to be a pedophile, and that he.
Oh, like he thought he put that in the same.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what he. I just think he was just absolutely. He's very similar to Donald Trump. He might be a little maybe more intelligent. Not that.
Oh yeah.
He's still evil and horrible. Low bar.
Yeah.
But he was that same level of money and power and bravado, which is the idea of shooting someone on Fifth Avenue and getting away with it, which we now all know is basically true.
Yep.
He had the same thing, but his built up over time, and people started to fall away because they were like, "You're playing with fire. Like you're now not high." I mean, but they all knew what he was doing, which makes them culpable as well. But like, he stopped hiding it. He stopped hiding things. He started kind of bragging and displaying things, and they were like, that's not going to last very long." Like even the fact that he was doing this documentary with Bannon to like scrub his image of pedophilia. Like
that's right.
Or they were going. He had hired people and was paying tens of thousands of dollars. This is all documented in this last file. Tens of thousands of dollars to scrub the internet of anything that had to do with his criminal history of pedophilia, and replacing everything on Wikipedia with like philanthropy and his science foundation. Like he was paying $1,000 a month for them to scrub the internet.
To scrub the internet.
Like,
wow.
Right, and they're like, and I love it because they send emails. They're like, "This is going to be great. We're going to scrub the internet. Just as long as no more bad news comes out, we should be good to go." And you're like, "Oh, you're so innocent."
Yes.
But also, what a horrible job that you like scrub people's pedophilia records.
Yeah.
Like, don't get a new job.
And then maybe if you're the pedo, you would think that maybe you should stop being a pedo. Like it's not going over very well, but like I guess he thought he had no control over it. So
he's a person who wasn't expecting the internet to exist. Like, because if you think about when all this started, like when he was like building, there was no internet, and if that had continued, he would have gotten away with everything. The reason he went to prison and went to jail and everything was because we have email and we have the internet, we have information. Like he could, if it had been 1993 for the rest of his life, he would have been so happy because we all have what we have because we have the internet. And for a long time, doing this without.
That's right. But I mean, but the stories about Trump in there, the whole thing is so disgusting. And I wonder, that's why when I was watching this filthy baboon in the Oval Office that he's turned into a disgusting, I don't even know. It's like some kind of, Liberace's, not even Liberace. It was just like some knockoff.
It's
gilded,
Russia. It's Russia.
Yeah, it's like some tacky palace but not even like a low rent.
No, it's like a
gilded shithole.
It's like a theme. Like what am I to think? Like a fun.
Yeah. Wait, your audio dropped out. I don't know what's happening a little bit. Did you get a new mic?
Or I just got a cheap mic. I don't know. Can you hear me?
It's a little. You know what? I think like if you move away, it kind of dips out or something. Yeah, it's weird.
If I put it right in front of me, can you hear me really well?
Yeah. Is that a cheap mic? Is that one of those? I know what that is. That was one of my first mics.
Yeah. It's like a $30 microphone.
I wish I had
I was
my
looking
spare.
through. I was like, "Oh, that one looks fine."
Aw,
no, I'll get one.
Bless your heart. Just kidding.
I didn't know what microphones.
No, you got to get a good mic. You need a good mic, even though they're expensive. This is like it could be $400, But
we're not ready
you're gonna
for a
use it, and it's gonna be good. It's an investment, but yes, you got to tell your Substack subscribers that you need a mic.
I'm like, "Hey guys, can I get a $400 microphone?"
Yes, but you need one. I mean,
I know. We'll get there. We'll. Yeah,
I wish I had I had a spare, and I gave it away, and now I don't have it anymore. So,
All
I
right,
would have
I'll give
given
one.
it to
I'll
you.
give one.
I wish I had another spare.
I was gonna say, it's so. It's
Uh-oh,
over.
you
I
brought
could
you.
probably unplug it and get better audio.
Yeah,
but
maybe unplug it first
here,
and
watch
plug
this.
it. Is that better?
How's this? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear
Let me
me?
see. Yeah, 1 2 1 2.
Hello?
I don't know.
Good. We're good.
Not 100%. 1 2
What's
3
going
1 2 3.
on?
It's I don't know. It might be me. I had problems.
Hold on,
We did the show on Tuesday. Jojo from Jurors was the guest, and she called in and she couldn't hear me. So
Oh, that's a bummer too, because she's great.
yeah, well, she's gonna be on the show on Tuesday, or at least gonna try.
Okay.
We're gonna try to. I'm gonna try to do some tech before with her to see if it works. I think it was her. I think it was her browser, but because you're just supposed to be able to click on the link and join.
I'm gonna call in. I'm gonna be like a caller when she's on there and be like, "Hey, this is Ellie, also from Jers. You need to stop ignoring me and answer my calls."
Right. Well, you sound better. That's good. That sounds better.
Thank you. Well,
yes.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Right.
I was gonna say, it's funny when things like what you say, like horrible, gaudy. Reading these emails is like listening into a private conversation that no one was supposed to hear.
Yeah.
And it covers all of this stuff. It covers the gold gaudy decorations.
Oh, really?
Like he's telling this guy named Boris Nikolic, which I don't know what country he runs. He's a politician, somewhere Eastern Europe. And he's like telling it, because Jeffrey Epstein has advice and experience and everything. Apparently, he's telling him how to like redesign his house.
Oh no!
And this world leader guy's like, sure, tell me. I need your help, Jeffrey Epstein, because I can't hire someone to do this. I'm gonna call Jeffrey Epstein to tell me how to design my house. And he's like, you want to do gold, but you want real good quality gold and maybe like the black gold. And he's like, the guy's like, yeah, we don't want to do the Trump gold. And he goes, no, you don't want the Trump gold.
Yeah,
and I was like,
nobody wants that.
That was already happening.
Oh my God.
So it's just so funny because I think, and this is what I firmly believe. So I think Trump is involved with the sexcapades or whatever you want to call it. Let me back up. I have talked with survivors, and when I've read Virginia Giuffre's book, you or even when you're listening to Ghislaine Maxwell, which I don't trust her as far as I could throw her, you hear people go, this person did this, here's the details, it was really horrible, here's this, and someone goes, and what about Trump? They go, nope, he's fine, and then they move on. And so I asked a survivor, I said, everybody does that. Like everybody, nope, he's fine, and they move on really quickly, and they just change the subject. They don't elaborate, they just move along. And I was like, why is that? And even she like moved along really fast. She answered very quickly and she moved along. And everything else she's thorough. And she said, and I said, are people like afraid to say it? And they're like, she just said yes.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And then we moved on. And I find that really interesting. So I think he's very much a part of it, but no one will say that out loud without receipts because they're
risking
terrified
their lives. Yeah. Wait, hold on a second. We're talking to Ellie Leonard. Be right back. All right, we're back with Ellie Leonard. And for those who don't know, that's because of the Progressive Voices app commercials. Okay, that's it. Those are cues.
Do what we gotta do.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but here's what I'm starting to realize, and I was kind of tongue-in-cheek going like, I think I know why he doesn't want us to release the files. Like, we know why he doesn't want to release the files, but as you get more and more into these emails from Epstein talking to his buddies, and he always plays his audience. If he's talking to Noam Chomsky, he talks very talks about like the neurons and then he talks to Steve Bannon, and he's like, yo bro, what's up? Like he changes. He's a chameleon.
Yeah.
But he consistently talks about Donald Trump and how much they hate each other, or how much he hates him. I think Donald Trump, he thinks is still trying to be his best friend, but he drops little bombs. Like he knows everything about this man and his finances. He's talking to Steve. No, he's talking to Michael Wolff. That's another set of emails in there that I'm transcribing very feverishly. But Michael Wolff's going like, I'm interviewing Trump tomorrow. What do I need to ask him? And Epstein rattles off a long list of things that if you're going to talk to Trump, this is the stuff you have to ask him. And he goes, well, I don't want to get kicked out of the White House. So if I'm going to get kicked out of the White House, what's the one question I need to get in there before they throw me out? And Epstein said something about like, why don't you ask him about like the electrical union that he uses to work on all his properties?
Oh shit.
And then like he goes, yep, that'll get me kicked out real fast. Like, and so he knows everything that Trump
Yeah.
did that
Like
was
all his
shady with
dirty.
money,
Yeah. Oh,
everything. Because, you know, Trump can't help but brag when he's got a buddy, because he doesn't ever have buddies. Like, he just lets them have, like, he gives everything away. You know, you think of like somebody like falling in love and just giving everything away. Like, he
Yeah.
did that. He gave Epstein everything. He told him everything.
Yes.
And so Epstein knows everything about Donald
Yeah.
Trump, and that is all in the files. That is all in the videos. And I think that's Trump's worst fear, because I don't think he recognizes that the things he
Yeah.
did with girls is wrong. I don't even
No.
think he's thinking about that. I think he's thinking about the stuff where he screwed over people with money, and he did things probably, you know, racketeering. He involved himself in probably shady like mob business. Like, he's
Yes.
involved in all
Yeah,
of that, and all
definitely.
that's in the files.
Definitely.
And they're going to start seeing how he screwed over one person and screwed over another person, and then all those
Yeah.
people are still out there, right? You know what I mean? So
he's a fraud.
there's
He's a complete fraud.
he's
So.
a fraud. He's a fraud, and the guy who was also a fraud is not here to save
Yeah.
himself. So he dumped all
right.
that information. So I think that's what he's really afraid of. I don't think he has a plan. I think he thinks he's still going to block these files from coming out,
Yeah.
which he may very well try. But you know what? You have
They're
to
going to redact it, right? I mean, that's what I would imagine.
whatever happens, if we get a disappointing dump in the next month from this, right, and it's fully redacted, or they try to veto something, or I don't know how they could change their mind, or they just throw in something that makes us not get what we think we're going to get, those women are ready. They are ready with a backup plan. And they're trying to do this the right way. They're trying to do this the right way. Like, they're trying to, like, let Congress do their jobs. Let's get that information out. But they will know the second we get something shady and something's missing, because they know what's in the files. And so if we don't get what we're supposed to get, they're fully prepared with legal representation to give us what we want. Like, that's that. So there's really no avoiding it at this point. And the nice thing about that is, like, and this is something that I've seen this week, is people almost straight across the board, unless you're one of these people who are being investigated, believe the women.
Yes.
Like, this is like the first time that's happened in a very long time, that people are like
smearing
believing
them, don't you think?
Right. Well, I mean, people who are involved or who are targeted in this campaign, maybe, but generally, as a consensus, people believe these women who came forward, because there's very few people who are like, well, I still want to hear what Jeffrey Epstein had to say. Like, people know what he did, and they know that these women are telling the truth. And so if we don't get those files, and we don't get those receipts, and we don't have, you know, the stamp of the DOJ on them, those women can say anything as a group, which also gives them credibility if they all say it together.
Right.
It will be believed right now. It will be believed.
Yes.
And so he's terrified of them, I'm assuming. But it's also some, like, hope for this story and the American people is, we have another option. We have a backup plan.
Right.
And
they're not going to let it. They're just not going to let it rest. If it comes out and it's completely redacted, the women are going to come forward.
Right. No, they're not going to be like, oh, we're going back into hiding. They're not going to do it. Like, they have so much support, and they have the entire like all the Aaron Parnases of the world. Like, they don't have to worry about CNN. They don't have to worry about you know, is NBC backing me? They don't care. Like, they don't care about that anymore. They care about, like, this wave of people who are just reporting and writing feverishly about this story.
Amazing.
We're doing a really good job. Like, they have nothing to lose. They have, you know, so.
And they're ready.
If I was Donald Trump, I would be very afraid right now.
Like, because they're not going away, and they have
there's nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, and they've already sacrificed so much, and their time is now. So they're not going back, like you're saying. They're not gonna just be like,
no, they're not gonna be like,
yeah, it's just a shame. Like, Virginia,
let's wait another 30 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's just heartbreaking about her, but you know, I mean. The whole thing is disgusting.
Right.
What?
Right.
What
the whole thing's disgusting, but, like, I was just going to say, her family must be very proud. Like, in this moment, they must be incredibly proud, because everything that she did was not in vain.
Right.
Like
That's true.
the waves she made are so powerful, and they led to more people coming forward. And every day you hear like there's another person coming forward who was a Jane Doe before. They're willing to say their name because they feel safe
Right.
enough to do that now. Like, and you have
It's
to remember,
true. Yeah.
I don't know how many women have been named, but like it's like less than 10% of the people who are in this, you know, entire
Wow.
investigation. Like, and then you have, right, there's like 1,000 women, but then you also have to think like statistically only 20% of women report. So like how many more people have not even come forward? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to like be really careful about the people who are coming forward for the wrong reasons and they're in the moment, you know, because
Right.
there will always be some of that. Um, but it's just yeah, I feel like it's very easy to vet right now. Like people know things that other people don't know, and it's a pretty easy to know who is there and who is not there. But they have a list. They have a list. Virginia's ghostwriter has a list. Like there's the people know. People know people. Like there are people that I have heard that I'm not going to name because I don't have a lawyer, but like there are people who have not been named yet who are very very much a part of this whole ordeal.
Right.
And so they have that list, and it's you know it's all they got to do is click, and it's out there. So I hope that we get the full thing. I never assume we'll get the entire thing. Like they'll try to hide even if it's like a couple of pages with more stuff on it. They'll try to but
that's
then
why
we
don't have it now. I mean, look at what
right.
Didn't Pam Bondi tell them to go through the Epstein files and flag every mention of Trump in there. So we know the priority is to protect the powerful. It doesn't matter if they're pedophiles. I mean, imagine being Pam Bondi. What a disgusting... all these women. That's what's so disappointing around the whole thing. You know, that there are women enabling
Did she
this.
possibly like believe? I just can't imagine that she believes what she's doing. Like I hope that it's morally conflicting and it's hard to sleep at night. You know, and I think of these people who are just kind of like wishy-washy, you know, anywhere the wind blows. Like I think of like oh, what's his name? The guy who Marco Rubio. I think of a guy like that. Like,
oh God, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what do you really think you're doing? Like do you really think that like, oh, you're all in and he's so great? I doubt it.
No, because he's the one.
Very conflicted.
Exactly. Well, that's what's so disgusting about these people. That's why. How do you look at yourself in the mirror? He's somebody that called Trump a con man back in the day. He said he's a con man. A con man will never lead the Republican Party. I mean, when he was telling the truth about Trump, he's a con man. We all know it. And now he's a lick spittle. Why? What do you get out of it? You know, and this is what the defining, the zeitgeist of this day is how many people, you know, just went along with with horror, with the evil.
There's a lot of psychology. I feel like there's a lot of textbooks that are going to come out about this. It's like, like people are so in a corner, like they're so backed into a corner, like they're willing to sacrifice everything for something they don't even actually believe anymore. And like that's their families, that's their future, that's their career. Why would you ever, like objectively, none of us would ever choose to do that. So what gets you to that point? Is it just fear? Is it pride? I don't know.
And if you want to be Secretary of State, that's how you want to finish your career, or who knows. We all know he has ambitions to be president. And but you're Secretary of State to a monster that is a monster, is a moron, is an ignoramus.
Your name's always going to be on that Wikipedia page underneath his name. Like, is that what you want?
It's not going to be an honorific. You will be reviled in history. It really is the truth. So I don't understand it. But that's one of the things, like I was saying, what is it about us? And when watching, like looking at what I know, a lot more because you're transcribing everything, but just the cast of characters here, Larry Summers, this guy that's been all through our politics, writing our policies, do you think he gives a shit about, The American people?
No.
I don't think so. I mean, he's
Right. And
somebody
just
like
act,
he's
we
so
have,
pathetic. Like he's looking to
right.
Jeffrey Epstein. He was like trying to get him to
Yeah.
hook him up with girls, and how does he
That's so common. I think that's like a common thread in that side of things,
wait,
not the
hold on,
financial
hold on.
side, but that side.
Stop
Okay.
it. No, the cats are fighting. So go
This is
ahead, sorry.
politics.
Uh-huh.
No, I was gonna say it's
It
like
always happens.
that's such a common thread is you have all these men that are powerful, whether it's in like the
Uh-huh.
academia, which he loved academia. He loved to talk like
Right.
neurons and like
Professor. Yeah.
I don't know if he actually knew what he was talking about or he
Nah.
just really, really wanted to be in that world. But people who did know what they were talking about and were high and mighty in academics were asking him questions but I think
Right. Wow.
he would pull these people like Wexner, Leslie Wexner, and he would pull these people like Marvin Minsky and all these professors and all these who were powerful in their own realms but couldn't get a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like they didn't know how to attract a woman. And so they would
Well,
like
maybe not be
they
fucking piece of shit.
right, but like they'd be and they're just old and kind of gross, and it's
Well,
like,
Larry Summers. Oh man.
but
I
he
mean.
right, but he could get them
Yeah.
whatever they wanted because it was financial, and so like there's just this weird like great he can get you a girlfriend, but like when you are flying to an island and there are children running
Yeah.
around, like when did you say that, ah, that was too far, maybe I shouldn't be here? And then none of
Mm-hmm.
them did, like none of them did.
No,
And
they
then
never
and
pulled
then
they
all these
never blew
guys,
the whistle on this
right, and
monster.
all these guys who are just like, really, you were on the island, raping children,
Yeah.
you're hideous, like how did that happen? It's because they all got roped in because they were just like, oh, he's like the popular kid on campus and he can get
Yeah.
me a girl. And so it was just, and then he was just raking in the cash, like raking in the
Right.
cash. Like it was, I think partially, like he has all this weird money laundering, finance bro stuff, but I think he also had like a high level like prostitution ring. Like he was making
Yeah.
money off these girls, and
Definitely.
he pulling them across with like Einstein visas, and like
Right.
now
Hey,
I'm getting
hey.
like a
Stop it, you two. I'm sorry. These two. This happens
bring them
every
on,
night.
bring them on, bring them
It's
on. They
my
can
little
talk.
one and my old one, and my little one likes to
Uh,
play, and now Tara Jr., my old man, is like, get away from
does he
me,
still have the
like.
cone? Is he still wearing the cone?
No, no, that's Francis. He actually is in the cone, and
Francis.
I'm gonna take it off probably tomorrow because I have to. The whole thing. Every time I took it off, he went at it again. So he
Yeah.
really murdered it and destroyed it, and I'm
Oh.
waiting for the scab to be 100% completely healed before I take it off, and there's just like a little bit left. So I think in a couple of days, like 2 days maybe
Yeah.
the most.
Cover it
I
with
feel
lemon
bad.
juice.
What's
I don't know.
that? Yeah. I
Cover it
mean,
with something that they want to touch, something they don't want to smell,
yeah.
like
So he's
ginger.
not.
They don't like
Yeah.
ginger.
Oh, that's true. I should do that. Put something on there,
But
like
then
a
he'd be
little.
like trying to get away from his own arm.
Right, right. Little bitter apple or something maybe on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
Well, I have to think about what we're gonna do because we have a leg lamp, and I didn't put it up last year because our two cats were kittens. We got them last summer, and they were very frisky. And I was like, I'm not putting up a glass leg lamp in the
Oh
window with like,
no.
like from the Christmas story with
Yeah.
like the knife.
Sure.
And I still don't think it's probably a good idea. So I was trying to think of something I could spray on it so they'd leave it alone because it has
Yeah.
like a real nylon stocking on it. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I
They might
mean?
wanna. That might be too tempting. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
But bitter apple. That's what I would use. Like if one of
Bitter
if,
apple. Okay.
yeah, you could buy it, and for cats, so it doesn't hurt them, and then but they don't like the taste, and I would put it on sometimes. Before I got the bitter apple, my little Boudica would chew the wires, so we just put a little
Oh
on the
yeah.
wire, and she doesn't bother them anymore. So just a
My
little.
kids watch, that just gave me a memory. My kids just watched Christmas Vacation for the first time when the cat
Hmm.
gets fried into the carpet eating the Christmas lights.
Oh no.
Do you remember that? Did you ever see
I
that
don't
movie?
remember. I don't know if I saw that one. I might have
Oh, it's so
ignored
great.
it.
Okay, it's I want my children to watch so many movies from my childhood, and they're just so put off by like the
Oh
datedness
really?
of them. But
Oh
they did whoever refurbished that film in like fixed the film quality, did a really good job, because it's just the style that's outdated, but like the film looks brand new otherwise.
Oh, really? So they
And
like
they
it
were
then.
just laughing their asses off. Like when they tell the old grandma to say the prayer at Christmas dinner, she stands up and does the Pledge of Allegiance. Like they thought that was like the funniest
That is
thing. And I was
funny.
like, oh, yeah.
What about
it's such
Dumb and
a-
Dumber? Did they ever see
Yeah,
that one?
they haven't seen Dumb and Dumber. There's a
Okay.
long list of things that they haven't seen
Yeah.
that they're just starting to be like allowed to see stuff,
Right.
where they can like navigate it. And I'm like, well, that's stuff we wouldn't say at our house, but you can still watch this.
Right.
Like, we're
Well,
kind
Dumb
of
and
just
Dumber is
easing
funny.
into that.
Right. But that
It's
was
so
something I watched
quotable.
with my nephews when they were little, and they love it. It was just something we bonded over. Dumb and Dumber.
Samsonite, Mary Samsonite. I know, they're very quotable.
That's a classic. That is a classic. But yeah, anyway, what a world though. But that's what I'm thinking about. When I'm watching the Baboon and Mohammed bin Bonesaw, looking at Jeffrey.
Wait,
not
what were
just
we talking
Jeffrey.
about? I didn't know.
Oh,
Who's the second
Baboon.
one?
Yeah, and Mohammed bin Bonesaw. The Saudi dictator.
Yeah. Yes.
And and
Who
just
Michael Wolff was also meeting with.
Are you kidding me? Really?
It was before he chopped up the poor reporter, but he was meeting with him.
What a monstrosity!
Anyway, carrying on.
What a disgrace! Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then reading, it's all in context of what we're seeing with the Epstein files, the release we've seen so far, and all these people that are supposed to be the masters of the universe, but not a decent one in the bunch. So. What's wrong with us? When do we have enough of these monsters inflicting their madness on this world?
I think it depends on what institution you come from. If you come from journalism, I think it's the crazy like hunt for the scoop. And that line that people cross that you're not supposed to cross, where you become part of the story. The journalist is never supposed to be part of the story. And I think we've seen that a few times lately, where journalists got too close and for too long, because they in their heads the story just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they thought, if I stay a little more, do a little more, this is going to be the greatest story of all time.
Yeah.
And inevitably they wait too long and they become part of the story. So but I mean, if it's finance, it's a different story. If it's somebody coming from the modeling world, it's a different reason. Like but ultimately it's because people got greedy. Yeah. I would say greed is the number one catalyst for everything. Yeah.
Greedy. And it's never enough. That's the thing. And that's why people are just nothing but commodities then. They don't give a shit. You got to, when I think about Bernie Sanders, and you even think about FDR, they had the interest of the people. It's, you could look in Bernie Sanders' career, and when he was a young man, he was trying to help people, and you could see evidence of him helping people and doing things for, practical things like taking his constituents to Canada to buy drugs and things. And always fighting for, just on the right side of things. But then you have, like these horrible other people that don't ever think of anybody but themselves. And that's why it's like, they're not even, it's not even just thinking about anybody. They're thinking about their little tiny dicks, and that's it.
Well, it's super weird too, because like in these emails you see a lot of people, because it's like the first Trump election and they're all talking about it, and they're just like, I super support Trump, but if I didn't support Trump I would vote for Bernie. And I'm like, how do you put those two things in the same box, right? Like why? But it was just because it was just this mass exodus to just not vote for Hillary. They just, I don't like Hillary.
Yeah. Well, that too, but I don't know who's in the Epstein files saying that. That sounds.
All his buddies were all.
Really?
I mean, he was not.
Interesting.
I wouldn't say that Epstein was a Democrat. I don't think that he was. I just think he hated Trump vehemently.
Yeah, isn't that funny? And Trump calls him a pal, and I mean.
Yeah, and he thinks, and I think ultimately it was like he just thought that Trump, and rightfully so, he thought that Trump was just a buffoon. Like that was the biggest thing they talked about was just how stupid this guy is. Like,
I
how did you
know.
get that guy in the White House? Because he's just an idiot. He can't choose. And
That
so that's like,
he has no redeeming
like,
qualities, and he's the worst
what is
person.
he? And they're just laughing because they're like, how did this happen? This is so stupid. He's a complete idiot.
I
Like,
know.
what are you, like, what
Fucking
are we in
people.
for? We're gonna, yeah. So, and they were all like, yeah, we should have voted for Bernie. And it's like, why? If you
Why
were
Bernie?
the kind of person
Yeah.
to vote for Bernie, then why were you even considering Trump? Like, no, we didn't know who he was going to become, but we knew. I mean, we knew certain things why I didn't vote for him. I must have known something.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
we're like vastly in two different ends of the spectrum, and yet you'd vote for one.
Well, that's why Bernie would have won. I mean, I always say that, not to relitigate it, but it's not just because of the people saying that in the Epstein files, but there were a lot of Bernie Trump crossover voters, and it was because, and in fact, a lot of what Trump ran on was a really progressive platform. He was talking about universal health care and living wages. Of course, he was full of shit, and he had the racism on top of it. So I always say, if you weren't, if you wanted universal health care and all of that, and you would have, and not a racist, you would have went for Bernie. But there was a lot of the, because Bernie's a truth teller, he's sincere, and I think there was a lot of that, going on, and Hillary was like just the embodiment of the establishment. So.
Right, and a woman. They didn't
and
want
a woman,
like,
and a woman, and that's the problem. And fucking country. But this is what when I'm thinking, what you're saying about how the Epstein survivors are, they're going to come forward anyway, and that's why I'm wondering, when will the smears start, or have they started and I haven't, and maybe I've missed it. Because I'm thinking about, for example, Christine Blasey Ford, when she testified against Brett Kavanaugh. She came forward when Kavanaugh's name was a serious contender to be on the Supreme Court. And she came forward and said, well, he's a rapist. And this is who he is. He's a drunk. He's a rapist. And he's unfit. I had to recently watch some of those old clips of him. Yeah. And unfortunately, not old enough. I mean, he's on the Supreme Court now. I just can't believe it. But he's, just the unfitness of his entire character, the screaming, the crying, the smashing the table, the, talking about, I like beer. I drank beer. I had beers. We had a few beers. We liked beer. It's like any woman talk like that, forget about it. Could you imagine Ketanji Brown Jackson? I like beer. So what? Me? I like beer. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Right. We can't cry. We can't cry. We can't have emotion at all.
Oh, God. You can't bang the table. You can't cry. Forget it.
All right.
Scream, I like
can't have
beer.
An opinion. If you have an opinion, you're a bitch. If you cry, you're hysterical.
Yeah, you're just not fit. And so...
and you can't laugh because they don't like the way you laugh.
Cackling.
Right?
You cackle. And you can have cankles, but you can't cackle. But the way they smeared Christine Blasey Ford was so offensive. They said, I don't doubt that something happened to her, but she's confused. She's,
gaslight.
Yeah, she just, somebody raped her, but not me. It wasn't me. She's confused. Right. It was me. You know how women are. Right. They just don't know.
Well, when I came into that, like, I was, a lowly transcriber, and I didn't know anything about Christine Blasey Ford, and I listened to a bunch of like off the record interviews with her, and that was my first experience ever hearing her, and she was believable immediately. Of course. Because she was terrified, her voice was shaking, right? She didn't want to speak. This was never her goal, speak up. Because she didn't think this guy was going to run for the Supreme Court. She was going to live her quiet little life. He's a horrible person living somewhere she doesn't know where. But he showed up, he was on TV every day, and he was trying to run for a position that decides what happens to rapists, and she just couldn't, she stopped sleeping.
Wow.
And so I'm listening to her talk, and I've never heard her before, and I was just like, she's so specific in the things that she's saying. Yeah. And she's so, that I could hear so much fear in her voice, and second guessing herself. And I was like, I don't know who this lady is, but like, somebody did something horrible to her. Yeah. And then there we were. And then we were talking about all the rest of it. And so like that moment really, that was one of my first instances of listening to people in these situations, kind of with a bigger authority figures, powerful men, and somebody stepping up and speaking for the first time and seeing the dynamic as a result of that. And that really kind of laid the groundwork for me. Like I really think about her a lot and what it took. And then
I do
and then what happened to her after, like the death threats and like having to move her family, and like she knew was well aware that that was going to happen. She was like, she knew if she said something, she was meeting with like a legal team and a therapist and her husband and her family, and like they all were making the decision together if she was going to do this or not. But
what a shame, though. You
see, right? Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's like, it reminds me of when I think about Christine Blasey Ford. I think about, wow, once again, you know, the American people betray these actual patriots, you know, who come forward, who are trying to make us better, a better country. Why? I mean, who the hell? Even if he didn't rape Christine Blasey Ford, what if? I mean, just look at his demeanor. He's completely unhinged and unfit.
But that was the status quo, right? And that's been the status quo, right? We get a lot of that now. Like that's very standard for people to lose their cool in Congress and start banging things. And screaming. Like that's become fodder, and like people like it, and they find C-SPAN entertaining. C-SPAN's not supposed to be entertaining. Like that's now.
It's so true. It's supposed to be boring.
So, now, if you didn't do that, they would say, "Oh, she's boring. You know, she's not. She's dull. I don't even remember what she said." You know, like it's just no winning for losing.
Oh wow!
And
yeah, it's true. And I mean,
they will. People will come after the victims. They will definitely come after them. They already are.
Yeah.
I already know. You know, Alan Dershowitz.
Oh, God.
I had to laugh. He goes on News Nation. And I was like, "Oh, big interview."
Wow.
But he's targeting individual survivors. And I will say this is something that I found on scanning through these emails, because I don't use AI. I use my finger. I was looking at them and I found an email from Alan Dershowitz to Virginia Giuffre's lawyer.
Oh wow.
And if you read her book and if you listen to kind of some of the interviews from before,
I did read it, yeah.
Right, she was made to retract the statement that she was abused by Alan Dershowitz, and because she included him in her lawsuit, and she said this man abused, this is what happened in Epstein's house, and then she made a statement later that was just such a statement in a can of like, I was mistaken, I misidentified him, I was young and traumatized, and I remember just like, there's no way. Not possible. Like somebody's threatening her. That is not possible. She's never said that about anyone before. And then I'm scanning through these emails and I find an email from Dershowitz to Virginia's lawyer, who's David Boies, who's a piece of crap. Like, he's saying, this is what Virginia has to say. I misidentified him. I was young and traumatized. Jesus it's the exact statement, and I was like, there it is. There it is. There was the threat. He told her lawyer she had to say it. She was under threat, and she said it. And I was like, I don't think anybody's ever seen this email before. And so I pulled it out, and my platform's not humongous, but I was like, I'm going to send this as many places as I can, because, like, what a piece of shit. Like, of course he did. Of course he did. And I've talked to other survivors who are like, yeah, he totally did that to her. And so, but these are the people who still sort of have power. I mean, News Nation level power.
One second. Ellie Leonard, everyone. Listen, this is the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show, but we have more show at youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster. We will win. This is Ellie Leonard. That's who you're listening to. So come on over. We have more show, more interview. Check out Ellie's Substack, Red Pencil Script. It's amazing, and it's on the cutting edge of all the Epstein drama and traumas, so she's really breaking it down, and we need to give her all our support. All right, guys, thank you Charlie from APS Radio News, and I'll see you soon. Tarabuster Tuesdays, okay, remember, on the Political Voices Network. See you soon. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, Ellie. It's kind of an annoying thing on Friday night, even though it's casual and loose, but I got to do those cues there. So whatever.
All right, you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, but my point being is Alan Dershowitz is he's just one of them. He's one
he's a
more
dirtbag.
documented guy. He's in all, she accused him for the thing that he actually did.
Right.
And his whole life is suing people and calling everyone anti-Semitic.
Yes,
He
right.
called a survivor anti-Semitic for naming him, and like
Anti-Semitic.
she's Jewish. She's like
Right.
everybody
Like,
in
honey.
her circle. Like he just is so like he's just scraping. He's scraping like for because
he's disgusting. Well, he says
so gross, and
yeah, but he's married for a long time. He says I've only had sex with my wife or something. Like that's his
except for when I was being massaged with my underpants.
Yeah, on, I mean, but that's the other thing. So that's his defense. I kept my underpants on, right? So
and I don't even like massages.
Right.
Okay, then.
Yeah, they put a gun to your head. Gun to your head. A 17-year-old or that's the cutoff, right? So there was like you walk into a room and there's like a 15-year-old. Usually you get a massage. When I get a massage, you go to somebody who's a professional, because that's
and not in someone's house.
Yeah. That's a thing.
Massaging somebody's house.
Yeah, but I mean, you could hire somebody who's a pro to come over with a table and all that, but they have a license. They're not a child. Why would you you walk into say, oh hey, I got it. Here's a gift. Here's a gift of massage, and there's a child in the room. Right. You'd be like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is a kid. Right. Where's the masseuse?
Even if they're like maybe a child, maybe they're a young adult, like. If it's even looking close, like
I know.
Say, see your ID real quick.
15, 16, 17-year-old.
If a bar has to do it, if a gas station has to do that, if you look 35 or less, like we should be asking our masseur, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't you be like if you saw the pictures of the women who and when they were girls, you're like, listen, you'd be like, you got ID here, like this, you're a masseuse. Kid, what? Like what? What are you doing? Like,
I know. One girl is like,
you got a license?
Woman, she's a woman now. When she's like 5 feet tall. Like, so if you had her when she was a teenager and she's 5 feet tall, you'd like maybe say something.
Right. I mean, you old, creepy, disgusting. Yeah.
Well,
loser.
Then now we also have receipts for how much Dershowitz earned from Epstein. And it's like $4 million. So it's like. It's all bad. It's all bad, and he can't get an interview on a regular news station, so he's got to go talk to Chris Cuomo now and like yell on TikTok. With, whatever floats your boat. But it's like, I talked with somebody who was really upset by that interview, and I said, look, obviously, if these, the statements that he makes, if they're traumatizing, don't watch it. Like, don't turn that stuff on. Don't sit and watch that stuff.
Yeah.
But if you do, make sure to check out the comments because the comments will probably be pretty validating because everybody hates Alan Dershowitz. Like it's pretty straight across the board. No one's getting in there going, "Ooh, good for you. I totally agree with what you say." Like they're not because he's lost all credibility and he's never denounced Jeffrey Epstein. He's never denounced him.
He's like Prince.
He's never
former Prince Andrew, who said
just Andrew.
Yeah. What's his name now? Mountbatten or Andrew?
Oh, no, I call him just Andrew.
And what a scumbag too. Another one.
I call him just Andrew. Like I put
just
the just
Andrew. That must kill him, because
I'm sure he's fine in his whatever multi-million dollar whatever.
He can go cry in his castle, of course, but he's just because he's a piece of shit. That guy, and I was talking about this on another show where because they. He just treated all of the staff that was there to make his life easy. He just treated them like shit. You know all about the teddy bears too, so that's
I don't know about the teddy bears.
Oh yeah, he has. It's beyond belief. It's 100% true, and it's like been validated, and they did one of the movies they made about his interview with the lady who that famous interview, the Newsnight, not Newsnight.
Mm-hmm. I think.
You know what I mean? That English show that they interviewed him, and then he lost his position, and it was the first step, and because it was such a disaster. Well, he's a grown ass man. He has about 40 different teddy bears of various sizes, on his bed.
Gross.
And every day, because they make his bed for him, every day there's a photo, and you have to put the teddy bears back exactly how they are in the photo. And if they're not put back exactly, Andrew has a fit about it. And it's notorious that he's just an abusive piece of shit.
Funny.
And, you know,
Well,
to do this for teddy bear, he's got fucking teddy bears. I mean, he's in his 60s, okay?
It's very interesting
older.
because like the idea that King Charles, like, sounds so weird, but the idea that he would even make a statement about this is fishy to me, because they're, you know, the unauthorized motto of the royal family is never complain, never explain.
Yeah.
They don't do that. They don't make statements.
Right.
And I know that Ghislaine hated Diana. I know that they all
really?
kind of
Why?
abused her and like bullying. Oh, just because of jealousy and whatever. It's like Ghislaine knew the royal family from yeah, but she knew the royal family from childhood. Like, she was buddies and they all went to school together, so she was in that. So hated Diana. They all bullied Diana. But there's things that Charles knew was going on. I think this is an opinion. This isn't allegedly. To where he's going to make that statement because it's going to protect, you know, as much as he can protect. I don't think he would normally. He'd let the media and whatever take care of his brother and not do anything about it. But he wouldn't actually say something. So the idea that he stood up and said something is fishy. It's fishy to me. I think it's underhanded. There's something more there.
Well, I mean, at least he did something though, and finally got rid of him. You know, like, I
mean, what does it mean to take away a title? Does this mean like, no, we're not going to call it that?
Yeah, he doesn't get all the honorifics. Nobody has to bow to his unworthy carcass.
What a dumb life.
I know, right? I mean, that's the whole thing, right?
Because his bed full of teddy bears, and people are like, you have to bow now. You have to wear the right color.
I mean, that's
like,
why we threw over.
It looks like they're playing house.
Yes, and you know, this is why we overthrew the king. That's why it so annoys me, you know. And what's her name? Meghan Markle and Harry. I talk about them sometimes because they really get on my nerves. Because she's
I'm going to counter it. But okay, go for it.
Oh, really? A counter, Meghan?
I will. I'll stand up for them. But that's okay. It's
stand up? Okay, good. Because I like new information. No, but she's annoying because she's always going like, you know, I'm Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And I'm like, you're the fucking Duchess of nothing. You're in America. Right. You know, we don't have titles here. Mean, you know. So. I mean,
there is some of that. I will say, because I worked on their documentary for like 18 months. So I had the insight of, you know, from my computer in my own home, sitting in their kitchen and listening to their conversations for 18 months.
Interesting.
And they're highly normal. They're just normal. They're like, and even more hairy.
They're not
Meghan.
abusive. I thought they went through like 50 what do you call it? You know,
there's a lot of
personal assistants or something.
There's horrible press about them because the British tabloids are brutal, and they will find you wherever you are. So like they would try to hide and go to like some random house in the middle of nowhere, and there would be, you know, a lake by their house, and there would be paparazzi would somehow like float out on the lake out in front of their house, or like they just kept bouncing from these houses that were not theirs. They would have friends that'd be like, you can come stay at our house for a month. Now you can come stay at our house for a month. And it was kind of during the time when they were like leaving the royal family, and they could never get away from it. But like when you just sat them down and they're just like making peanut butter sandwiches on the counter, like I would say Harry, even more than her, is like this beautifully dumb. It's like a dumb jock. Like,
well, he's supposed to be dumb, yeah. Even his mother said he was dumb.
I put it like in the best way though, like happy and just like dad jokes and just like, you know, and like just like he doesn't try not to be dumb. He's just like, this is who I am. I'm not super bright. So like I really, really appreciated.
Well, that's good.
Because I didn't know. I had no opinions about them before. It wasn't like, you know, because you get people who are so pro royal family, and like I don't get that. I don't get the colonization. I think it's all crazy, and like, why are we doing this in 2025? Right. But I also didn't have a negative opinion on them. I just had zero, which is this is me. I go into things and I'm like,
well, that's great.
I guess
I'm
research.
glad to hear it. because I
were
have
decent.
a negative opinion, because I just think the whole
Right.
title thing, it's like,
Right.
go away with your title. And
I
because
think-
she's
I
so
think, yeah.
adamant about I
The
mean, I understand
title
him.
stuff, yeah.
Because he was
I think the
born
title
like that,
stuff
you
is
know?
more. I think that the point of it, I think he fought a little bit more for her to have a title because there was such an issue with her being a black woman that he wanted her to have it. Like they
She's
were
not even
like,
black.
I know all this stuff. I have to say, no, she is. She is.
I know she is, but
Like-
she is a white. She looks white.
I know
It
she's
doesn't-
white,
nobody-
and she'll say, yeah, she talks that. She talks about the difference between like being a white pacifist, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter in the royal family. Like they didn't like that. They didn't. That was not.
So they say. So
They
I don't.
did.
I'm not. Here I am defending the royal family, but I just
I know,
think
I know.
that. But here's my issue with it too.
Okay.
The reason that they left, it's kind of annoying. So yes, it was good. The royal family is racist. I mean, they're going back to William the Conqueror
Right.
here, you know, to overthrowing the fucking Anglo-Saxons, right? So, so yeah, they have. But she was the first person of mixed race in the family,
Right.
and then they have mixed race prince and princess, and that's great.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be so inspiring to young people in England and everywhere to be like, oh wow, you know, and that would make so much of it more of a difference than being some fake duchess in Montecito making jam. And
I
it's
think they
just-
keep it. I don't know what the I don't know this. The only stance I would say on that is that because there was the big issue with if their kids were, because part of being the royal family is you're the certain generations they get to maintain like security and protection, and they really needed it where they lived. Like they had zero protection, and they had constant like crowds outside their house and helicopters and like they just couldn't get away from it. So they fought for some kind of titles in order to maintain security, but then they lost the security anyway. Like his father was like, nope, you don't get it. So I don't know. There's this I don't.
Well, he's in
when I was
America.
doing
You
it,
should just stay like whatever, you know. Yeah, like titles mean
know.
it actually says in our constitution that we have no titles of nobility here.
yeah, they
and,
probably
like,
don't mean anything. I'm sure it's not on our driver's license. I'm sure it's like on it, but yeah, I don't know. Like when I was working, they have no idea who I am, so I can't be like when I was working with them. But
Right.
like I was a fly on the wall for a year and a half, and it
That's
was
interesting.
It was normal. Like there were normal people doing normal things, and like and it would be weird because they would get like off, they would when things were all turned off, they would get like a phone call from his brother, and he's just like, ugh.
Oh, really?
We don't have,
yeah.
they don't have a good relationship, and then like
That's a shame.
I would hear things. It
What
is,
did
but
you
you know
hear?
what? I always
No, I
do that-
mean you don't have to tell us.
no,
but-
I can't. But,
I
like
know.
I heard things that I know Oprah wants to know that she's asked
Yeah.
questions about.
Oh,
I know
wow,
she doesn't.
interesting. Interesting.
But I always say that Prince William is why millennials handle disappointment so well. Because we
What
all
do you
had
mean?
like we all had posters of him on our
Oh, I
walls when we were
know.
kids. He was so beautiful, and we were just
But
like,
he
oh,
looks good
Prince
now,
William.
I think. I mean, I'm a
No,
lesbian. I
ugh.
think he kind of grew into his baldness. He looks, he's
Yeah,
wearing his
yeah,
uniforms well, and
He just looks like a bald royal. Like they're all just bald royals.
he's looking
I don't
tough.
know. We just,
I don't know.
he's a very much fits the royal family.
Yeah.
Box.
But I just think that
he's everything his
she-
daddy wanted.
Right. And I just think that she and the both of them, I feel bad. I feel bad for those kids, to tell you the truth, because if I was one of those kids and I grew up and I'd be like, wait a minute, my cousin's the king and I'm like in fucking
Right.
Montecito, it's like I would have
Right.
because you
Right.
have so many opportunities, then you could be, you can actually make a difference. You could be a philanthropist.
But it's the idea
You
of
can-
the gilded cage, right?
Yeah.
And if you grew up in the royal family, and
Yeah.
he said that a lot. I don't know if it's like on the film or off, but it's like, yeah, I can't complain and be like, oh, my life was so terrible because I was in the royal family and I had everything.
I know.
Like every want was taken care of. I was
Yeah.
so rich. But he's like, but you live in a gilded cage. Like when your mother died, he's like, when my mother died, he was 11 or 12. He's like, I was told I couldn't cry. I had to smile and shake hands. Like
Right.
what 11-year-old
Well,
would
that's
have to go out
tough.
and smile and shake
Yeah.
they just were required to have this life in the public
Yeah.
that was, he just didn't want that for his kids. He wanted his kids to grow up and
yeah, but
go
he
to
wants
preschool
the kids to have these titles, though.
Yeah,
so
but the
why...
title is what keeps them having have security. It's just so that they have the right to have
to
all
have
the things
security.
that right, to have safety and security and a future, whatever.
I'm sus
I know
about
it's
the
all a
whole
mess.
thing.
Like there should be no royal family. Like it
No,
shouldn't
that's
exist.
it.
Like there shouldn't be kings and royals. Like it's just colonization should have been over a long time ago. It's clearly not over.
Right. Right.
But anyway.
Right. No, I hear you. So, well, we don't have kings in America, so that's why I'm always like, because I just read something about Meghan Markle went to New York and they were at some brownstone, and the some butler guy announced Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and there was like nobody in the thing, and it was just like,
okay, that's
you know.
great.
But
I know
like,
they do it for like.
Who the fuck are you?
Events,
You're not the Duchess of anything. You're like, this is
know.
you're in New York, honey. You know, nobody cares.
But it's like when you have like an ex-president, they always call them the president. I don't know. I don't know.
You're the Duchess of nothing. You where the fuck pick out Sussex on a map? You know, where's Sussex? Get have you ever been
how you
to
really
Sussex?
feel, Sarah.
Because I want to be the Duchess of Sussex.
I just want to know what they put on their driver's licenses. Like, do you have last
Right.
names? Like, what's really going on? I don't know.
I want to be because I just think it was a missed opportunity. I feel anyway, and I feel bad for those kids because if my father
You wanted to be the Duchess, didn't you?
yeah, well, if I could have been a
to
princess,
marry-
look at me. I would have loved to be a princess. You think I would be like?
I would have been a lousy princess.
Well, I would have like, you know what I would have done? Like done my like animal rights causes, and when I got tired of the paparazzi, I'd fucking go cry in my castle. I'd just be like,
I would hate everyone. I'd hate it.
Go
I'd be like,
to
leave me
your
alone.
castle. Go to
I want
Balmoral.
to go to McDonald's. I want to go to the library. Like, leave me alone. I would hate it. I'd cry. I cry now. Like, I have no platform now, and I still, like, if I get too many notifications, I'm like, ah. Like, I can't handle my life. I just can't do it. I would never be a good influencer. I would never be a good princess.
You never
be a really
know.
good, like,
You
hobbit.
never know. You never know.
Right.
If you were born into it, that's all. I mean, I just would be mad if I found out that my mother and father left, this amazing. I mean, you hit the lucky sperm lottery, and you're a goddamn princess and shit. So
I think I'd hate it.
No, I know.
I'm sure
Who
they have
knows?
the opportunity to come back. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, I gotta get to work.
All right,
run.
kid. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all your insights, and we will do it again. And thank you for your time, for being so generous with your time as well. So everybody, follow Ellie's Substack. Please follow my Substack. Follow Ellie's. It's all in the description, and so we can keep doing this work because it's important, and it matters, and it makes a difference, right?
Yes.
It does.
Right.
It does. All right, my friend. I will see you later. I still have show to do, so I'm
all right. I don't know how. Do I hang up? Do I press the hang?
Yeah, just hang up. I can hang you up,
All right.
I guess. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Ellie Leonard, she's amazing and a good friend, and I love her, and she's great. So please support her, and we can keep doing what we're doing our, independent progressive media. Hold on, let me change this screen. I just saw someone in the chat. I didn't see that. Josie Justice said 95 Democrats voted to... what? 95 Democrats, along with the GOP, voted to condemn socialism. Well, isn't that complete bullshit? Yeah, okay. What, like, Social Security? Social, you're talking about Medicare? Social roads? Public library? The fire department? What can you be more specific? You fucking pandering assholes, right? To say that you don't like socialism is really irritating because human beings are social creatures. We are interdependent, and everyone relies on socialism. Okay? How about, we turn on our tap and we make our morning coffee with with water. We don't have to dig the well. It comes right out of the tap. And there's no parasites. We don't get explosive diarrhea from it. Then we'll eat food that's been inspected. I mean, this is socialism, folks. The House passed a non-binding resolution denouncing the horrors of socialism. Okay. I mean, where nobody is talking about socialism of what? Like, give us the specifics. That's why I can't stand this media, too, because they just throw shit out there. There's no education. There's no really informing people. What are you talking about? What socialism are you talking about? Maybe you're talking about communism, because we're talking about democratic socialism, like FDR's New Deal. Let's see. Denouncing the horrors of socialism in a 285 to 98 vote. You know, this is a response to the fact that the baboon met with Mandani, today in the Oval Office. And I knew, and what happened was, what happened was something that I knew was going to happen. And that is that the traitor Trump, was gonna be charmed, and he was gonna, do what he always does. What he was gonna do. Why can't I talk? He was going to do what he always does, and that is he's a coward. He was going to act like a friendly, like the friendly baboon, the affable baboon that he is, because he only has. I guess he was feeling warm after his visit with Mohammed bin Bonesaw. But I knew that Mandani was going to charm him, and Trader Trump was going to be butter in his hands. You see, that's how easily manipulated he is. You know that Mandani went in there and he, buttered him up and said, look, we believe in the American people. We both want to make America great again and all that. And Trader Trump just ate that shit right out of his hands. So I knew that was going to happen. And this is why I suppose that the Republicans had to pass this condemning the horrors of socialism bill that means nothing. It's all, for a bunch of freaks who've put this baboon into the halls of power, who are always crying about virtue signaling. Then what the fuck is this? But nobody, of course, I'm sure in the resolution, there's no detailing of what they're talking about. They turned this word into, a trigger point for Republicans. And you could just project your manias onto it. It's like a Rorschach test. All your fears, just project it onto the word socialism. And when they say socialism, you just cower while drinking your coffee in your inspected domicile that's not falling down upon your head, because there's standards that, were set, and standards and regulations that were set by the community. So if you built a house, it had to be built to a certain code. Other countries don't have things like that, because, it's just a fucking free-for-all. And socialism works. The happiest places on earth are socialist. And the American people love socialism. This is what drives me insane. What perjury trader Green, of course, and the rest of the Republicans will say, well, the Nazis were socialists. The Nazis were not socialists, because they call themselves the National Socialists. They only did that because it was appealing to the mass majority of people, and their primary opponents were the communists and the Social Democrats. So, hey, we're socialists too, but it doesn't matter what you call something. What it matters is what something is. The North Korea calls itself the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, the DPRK. So, are they a republic? I don't think so. And this is what drives me nuts. Let's see. What else did they say here? It was sponsored by Elvira Salazar. Well, didn't you earn your keep today, Elvira? Maria Elvira Salazar. The American people love socialism. That's what makes me sick. And I'm sick of the stupidity in this country. Of course, the vote is symbolic. Let's see. Reports from multiple outlets say 86 House Democrats joined 199 Republicans to support the resolution. 98 Democrats voted against it, and 2 voted present. Democratic leadership, including Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, voted for the measure. You stupid fuckers. Well, they should have just all voted present and said, this is nothing but bullshit, a waste of our time. They're virtue signaling because they saw Mandani in the Oval Office, and now they don't have something to run on because they were going to run on. And because Trader Trump he did Democrats a favor. He completely disarmed their attacks. What's her name? Elise Stefanik she's running ads calling Mandani a jihadist. And Trader Trump came out, no, he's not a jihadist. He's a very rational man because he's good at what he does. He's a sincere person who wants to help the people of New York, and he's very charming. He went from less than 1% in the polls. He had no chance of winning at one point, and he took that just out of the old shoe leather politics, knocking on doors, and took that 1%, less than 1% in the polls, to a decisive victory where he got rid of the establishment. Cuomo, for God's sakes. Thank goodness. Yeah, the American people might be skeptical of the word socialism, but they support socialism. So I'm sick of you, Hakeem Jeffries. That's not leadership. Following the Republicans into their virtue hole, into their virtue signaling hole of bullshit, isn't leadership. While 36, I'm just reading the statistics here, 36 to 39% of Americans say they view socialism positively. That's because of the propaganda. And they view capitalism more favorably because they've been thoroughly propagandized by the likes of Fox News, where you have people who drive Uber going, I'm a capitalist. You're not a capitalist, honey. You're a laborer. But, okay, keep dreaming. They think they're going to be invited to Epstein Island here. Unbelievable. But when you describe specific policies, instead of using the word socialism, I guess you're way ahead of me, The support jumps up to 70 to 80%. Okay? So when you ask them things like, hey, you believe in Medicare for all? Universal health insurance, expanded Social Security, paid sick leave, paid family leave, higher minimum wage, strong environmental and labor protections, then guess what? The support jumps up to 70 to 80%. So it's the devil's in the details here, as always. And that's why I'm so sick of the stupidity of the American people. I'm sick of the propaganda. I'm sick of people like Hakeem Jeffries buying into it. Why doesn't Hakeem Jeffries get in front of the American people and say, you know what? This is bullshit. This is a bullshit nothing bill that does nothing for nobody. And there go the Republicans wasting our time yet again. Because socialism, smotialism, who cares? America is not a socialist country, but we have socialist programs, and that's what democratic socialism is. Democratic socialism is capitalism, a highly regulated capitalism, coupled with a strong social safety net, social insurance programs that people like and want more of. That's why other countries have higher happiness, higher, their life expectancy is better. They're less stressed out. Because the Republicans are not, instead of actually passing policies that matter, they're too busy virtue signaling about their bullshit. And the Democrats are too busy jumping in with them because, they don't want the Republicans are going to go on their fascist, on their, not Republican run, their Russian-funded propaganda channels. And they're going to say things like, they didn't vote against our stupid socialism bill. Instead, what they should be doing, what the Democrats should be doing, like Hakeem Jeffries, but he's not a leader, is getting up there and saying, gee, the American people sure do love that socialism. They love Social Security, Medicare, nutrition assistance, social safety nets. They love it's just like Obamacare. You remember Obamacare is supposed to be, that's socialism. That's supposed to be socialism when you keep the for-profit health insurance racket in power. That's not socialism, of course, but this is where we are, thanks to Republican propaganda and the Democratic inability and refusal to counter it, to do anything about it. It makes me sick. But worse, it makes us all sick. And you know what? I wanted to play this one thing. I mean, I hate them all, really, but let me play you this clip here. Hold on a second. So, Mondani went to meet with the baboon, and here we go. This drove me up a wall. Here we go. So they were asking questions. They were taking questions, the baboon and Mondani.
Mr. President, question for Mr.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you view the mayor-elect as the true leader of the Democrat Party? And do you think Leader Schumer's and Leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look,
You catch that?
Mr. President, question for Mr.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you view the mayor-elect as the true leader of the Democrat Party? And do you think Leader Schumer's and Leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused in New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job.
Whoops.
We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job.
The Democrat Party. So, do you view Mondani as the leader of the Democrat Party? And, of course, Mondani said nothing, but, the fact is there are a bunch of fascist propagandists in the White House press pool now. But I'm not sure if you noticed the other crack White House press people standing around. No one batted an eye. No one, Democrat Party, they're all just looking down. Nobody said anything. Is this normal? So I seem to be the only one that gives a shit about this, if I feel. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell me oh, it's no big deal, calm down. But even Mondani said nothing. Why didn't he say, well, I don't know what the Democrat Party is, but I'm not the leader of the Democratic Party. I'm the mayor of New York. I mean, how hard is that? You don't allow these monsters to continuously define you, call you by not your name. Why? What is that? What is the point of that? And we're at this point because the Democratic Party is rudderless. It's leaderless. No one listens to me. And that's a problem. They don't listen to me. It is not okay to call first of all, that's not a legitimate journalist, of course. But we're so conditioned. Are we that beaten? We're such a bunch of beaten dogs. No offense to dogs, because eventually dogs bite back. But not Democrats. We're so beaten that people just misname us all the time, and we just go out about our business as if that's okay. I think this is a problem, and it drives me insane. Why wouldn't Mondani say something? Am I not? I mean, guys, I'm looking in the chat. I'm wondering, is this just my white whale or something? All right, guys, listen. Thank you for hanging out. We will be here. I'll wrap up the show in a second. This is the end of the show for real. Thank you, Ellie from Red Pencil Script. Please become a patron, patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for all you do for the show to keep it going and growing. Guys, please subscribe to my Substack if you can. No, I know you can, but do it. Do it now. Do it now. Let me see. I'll put it in the chat. The other thing I wanted to ask, let me see. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Tarabuster. I got to get those Substack numbers up, guys. You can help me out. And the other thing you can do, if you can, please. You know what I need you guys to do? Here's the Substack. Oh, shit. That's not it. Blam, blim, blam. Oh, thank you, Josie Justice. Would everyone listen to Tara, please? Exactly. I mean, what the fuck, man? Josie, come on, man. Right? What the fuck is wrong with these Democrats? I'm really asking. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. Just get it together, mouth. I'm really asking why the Democrats don't ever stand up for their name. I'm asking you for real. Like, do I need help with this? Thank you, Josie, for your super chat. Yes. Will everyone listen to Tara, please? And that's why I say to the Democrats, what the fuck, Democrat? And now the cursing is coming because it's late. And I'm tired. My ass hurt. My feet stink. My corns are aching. My sciatica's acting up. My knees hurt. So I don't know. Maybe I should just drop it. Am I nuts? Why can't you talk tonight, Michael? I don't know. I'm tired. I can talk. I just stumbled over a few words more than usual. I don't know. I'm just, a lot of times I'm overthinking myself too. I'm thinking, should I say this? But not always. I gotta stop. I don't know, man. Am I wrong here? Am I wrong? I don't think so. I'm not getting any negativity in the chat about whether I'm off my rocker about this, because it really does drive me nuts that no Democrat ever stands up for the Democratic Party name. Ever. And that, to me, is emblematic of the weakness. They're like, they think they're acting like the adults in the room. It's fucking annoying. How dare you constantly misname us? How dare you? They have allowed it. The Democrats in power have allowed it. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, they've allowed it. They have had to have made this a conscious decision that they will never ever address it as if it will go away. that somewhere along the line, the American people will figure out that the Republicans are doing it because they're infants that have nothing to offer and they're acting juvenile. But it's not happened yet. So why don't you do the hard part and message about it? Educate the American people. This is another opportunity to say to the American people, see? You see? There they are again. There they go. They never, they have nothing to offer the American people. The Democratic Party is the oldest continuous political party in the history of the world. And there's no excuse for this juvenile level of disrespect. But what else can we expect from people that have nothing to offer? What else can we expect from people who destroy everything they touch, who want a king, who live in these, who's representatives of these poorly run red states? They keep voting for their own demise while their representatives cut their lifelines and their constituents slip lower and lower and lower on the ladder. But all they got to offer is this little juvenile taunt. Right? That's all they have to say. Why don't you say that? And you'd better tell me, listen, why don't the Democrats go and tell the Republicans, get on the floor of the House and say, the Republican Party, now let's hear from the Republican leader or my distinguished Republican friend. See how long you get away with it. Do it on the corporate media when you do your hits on corporate media. Oh, my Republican colleague. Even the good ones, like Massey. He can't say the name of the Democratic Party. He's the Democrat Party this, the Democrat Party, even in all of the Epstein file debate. He was one of the good ones, supposedly. He can't say the name because that's their gang sign. You got to do that. So they're enabling baboons, the racist voters who vote for their own demise. I guess they get some kind of prurient pleasure out of their little juvenile taunts. They're not sincere partners in governance. So pull their covers. Point it out. They think the American people are gonna know this by osmosis. They're just gonna be like, well, you see the Republicans are very juvenile and they have nothing to offer. So that's why they call the Democratic Party the Democrat Party. They have, they're just babies. No, same thing with the stupid socialism bill. Why don't you fucking Hakeem Jeffries, what the fuck? You weak-ass fucking follower? Why are you following these baboons over a cliff? Right? How about you explain to the American people, well, there they go again. They can't say the name of the Democratic Party, and then they waste our time with this stupid bill. While, guess what? We should be expanding Social Security and Medicare and nutrition assistance and living wages and retirement security and, sick leave, family leave, all of the things that the American people love. But that's socialism. I guess you don't like that, right? Republicans? God, I'm tired of it. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. I'm getting agitated. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. All right. We gotta go, too. I gotta go, too. Primit Velcon, who says goodnight, everybody. Gotta fly. I gotta fly, too. I gotta go. I know, Michael. I know. You're following me, too. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Thank you. Oh, and the other thing I ask you guys to do, if you have an account over at iTunes, please, go and give this show a good review on iTunes, because the last review that comes up is the guy that says, used to be a good show, but now it sucks because what did I do? I did something wrong. I talked about Skype too many times, which I talked about it once. I think twice in 6 months, but so go to iTunes, okay? You got an iTunes account? Because this show, you can listen to it on iTunes as a podcast. And so it's good. When you got good reviews, give the show a good review. But I need you to write something. Like, show's great. Don't listen to that other idiot. And who talks about Skype. She doesn't say anything about Skype. Ever. I never let the words Skype out of my mouth. Other words have a hard time coming out of my mouth too, but okay. All right, listen, thank you, Ellie. Guys, also subscribe to the Substack. You know what to do. We will meet again on Tuesday. Hopefully, JoJo from Jers will actually be on the show this time. Hopefully, we won't have any more problems. I think, Ellie's link worked, so I'm hoping we'll have the same success with JoJo. That was the first time that happened. It's such a shame. And it was the first Tarabuster Tuesday, so she felt really bad about it. It wasn't her fault. I wish I had done the tech beforehand, but it wasn't a problem before, so, we'll see. That's what I'm saying, guys. That's why I need your support. We're in this together, and I thank you for your generosity of spirit, and your kind words of hope and change we can believe in. Tell everybody to listen to this show, please, and the Democrats to listen to this show. Tell Hakeem Jeffries to listen to this, because he really needs it. All right, I'm tired. All right, let me go, because I need to lay down and put my feet up and, I don't know, watch something on Netflix for the last hour of my Friday and pretend that Republicans don't exist legally and peacefully. My friends, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you, Charlie, APS Radio News, and thank you, Ellie, and thank you, patrons, and thank you all Substack subscribers. How do I always end this show? We will win. Remember, we will win. Why? Because we're on the right side of history, of course. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, Ellie Leonard from Red Pencil Script. My name is Tara Devlin, and I will see you on Tuesday, okay? I'll see you.